Oh dear. Now let me get you going on that one.
Ah,
Okay. The first thing I would say, for every founder, do not neglect community.
okay.
Do not neglect community. Make sure you take advantage of community. Make sure you take advantage of, other people who are in the ecosystem, who are
hmm
entrepreneurs, who are startups. Because sometimes I think many people, want to do things on their own and they get tied into that hole, right? There are many mistakes you're going to make that I don't want you to make them because somebody else has made them. And we're in an ecosystem where people are there to help you. People are there to provide you advice. So be part of the ecosystem, attend events, go to things,
I'm going to jump in
community.
on this here
Okay.
because I think it's really important that
Mhm.
it's community is networking,
Mhm.
community is incubators,
Yes.
community. I mean, if I think about Calgary, Platform Calgary is a
Yeah.
great example of being
Yeah.
able to get together.
Yeah.
CBWN, you do a number of
Mhm.
networking. Fem Alliance is another one
Yeah.
that does
Yeah.
like so many great opportunities
Yeah.
to be able to connect. Hello and welcome to the Karas Wright Show. I'm Karas Wright, where we have real conversations that are unscripted about everything from business to life to leadership. And today I am excited, oh my goodness, so excited to introduce Dennis Agbegha. Did I get it right?
Yes, you
All
did.
right. Director of Banking at the Prairie's RBCx. Dennis brings so much rich experience from back in Nigeria when you were in oil and gas.
Mm.
And then you and I met when you moved to Canada
Mhm.
and working at the bank.
Yeah.
First at ATB, I was across the street at
Yeah.
Scotia. We were duking it out over small business clients. And then BDC, which I had the pleasure of seeing you on your very last day at the BDC. We had coffee, and now at RBCx.
Hmm.
So exciting.
Thank you.
I want to hear all about you, but give us a little bit of background on yourself for people who don't know who you are, which is probably like one or two people.
Every time I get to say something and somebody hasn't heard that. So thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here. Dennis is my name. I have another name. The first name is Eden Kurofar. It's like,
Ooh.
Oyi Eden Kurofar is a Nigerian name from where I'm from in Nigeria. It actually means, um, you know, there's nothing God cannot do. And the reason being that my mom had me when she was 53, and she gave birth to me in the sitting room with one person's help. And so when this woman of 53 gives birth to this child with my big head coming out and
Oh, bless your mama.
coming out, and everything was fine, all that. And that's how they named me, like that first name, like Dan Crawford was like, well, there's nothing God can do. So that's my first name. But however, I go by Dennis so that I don't break people's teeth and mouths and all that. So I go by Dennis. Moved here landed in Canada in 2014, but been here since 2016. I came here to work as a geologist because that's what I did, just like you said. That's what I did in Nigeria. And but somehow, when I came here, there were no jobs for geologists. And I've been in banking since then. And something is the best decision of my life, right? Being in banking, because it's giving me opportunity to be part of community. It's giving me opportunity to make a difference in the lives of entrepreneurs using the knowledge and skills that I know. Because sometimes it's so easy for you to know so much and you think everybody knows it. It's just like when you talk to financial planners, they talk about money. Hey, like they feel like, oh, why don't you know about this stuff? Why don't you know about that stuff? Lots of people just don't know, right?
So true.
They just don't know. So
Yeah, and you're talking to a former financial planner.
yeah,
So absolutely. And the reality is that what I've noticed
Mhm.
throughout just watching you on social media and interacting with you, you are focused on making things easy for people to access.
Oh yeah.
And community's huge because
Yes.
you are involved with is it Calgary Black Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
And is it Fempreneur?
Yeah, Fem Alliance.
Fem Alliance,
Yeah.
yes. So, like, walk me through what makes that important to you.
Yeah, so those things are very like I talk about my mom. My mom shaped my life in many ways. Being her last child, having me when she was young, she was also an entrepreneur. My mom went through a lot of stuff, like had many marriages that didn't work, had many children, but it was a time that I watched what it was to be like a woman through the eyes of my mom, right? Like because of all the things that she had to experience, all the discrimination, like you can do this, you could do that. And my mom was a loving woman, and I just wondered why a beautiful woman would go through all this
Mhm.
pain. But not just her. I saw many women in my neighborhood go through the same thing. And every time I wanted to make a difference, so for me, being involved either with Fem Alliance or other groups as well, it's just doing my best to ensure that in this beautiful world we have, which becomes just so crazy, that women have their right place. Women are supported. Um, e- so that's my involvement in it. But I believe in inclusion. I believe in belonging. I believe that everyone has something to offer. Everybody has a place in our community. I would love seeing it that we should have diversity. And me being part of the Calgary Black Chambers as well, it's just the opportunity to help uplift professionals, get them into different things, and just build a more united society where everyone is welcome, where everyone is appreciated, but where everybody also contributes as well. Right. So for me, those things are very, very important because I want my kids and I want the future generation to have a place where everyone is welcome, where everyone is appreciated for who they are. So that's my involvement with lots of stuff in community because I believe so much in community. And when I think about where I grew up, we're multiple tribes from different places, but it was always beautiful for everyone to come together. It made it so beautiful. So I love that, and that's my commitment in these things, or maybe involved in. I'm also involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society of Canada. I support different organizations as well. But the idea being like, if one thing happens to one person, it happens to all of us. So if somebody is being bullied next door and you feel it's not my child, I don't care. Don't worry. There's a way it comes back to you. Or somebody's sick down the road, person has cancer and all that. You think, well, I don't care. It's not me. I believe that when it happens to one person, it happens to all of us. So we all as a community should be involved, right? Because it's affecting you. You may not know, but it is affecting you. So that's my appreciation of community.
Mm.
That's what I think about it.
No, and I agree with you. And I think that's something that we share in common throughout the years. I have been involved with numerous autism organizations. So I spent 10 years on Allies for Autism, raising funds for the Autistic Society, on Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease, as well as I currently sit on a couple of women in business as well, because there is that need to have that sense of community. But what you're saying is really beautiful about you may not think it has anything to do with you, but it really does.
It does.
And it always finds a way to come back.
Yes. Yeah. And just think about COVID, what happened during COVID, where we were all stood in queues and all of that sort of stuff, right? Maybe, and the reason why sometimes some of these things happen, someone was sick, maybe the count has, instead of 4 people, there are only 2. It affects you. The person is sick at home, but it affects you. So if you think about that big story, or not being able to, there's poverty and there's wealth. And sometimes like they are poor because of their own issues or where they come from. Like we're wealthy, we're fine. But it only takes just one interaction to change all of that.
Absolutely.
One interaction, it changes all of that. And you're like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? It's just the fact that we're all connected. We just don't know.
One interaction can make or break something. It
Yes.
can either change somebody's life for the better or for the worse.
For the worse, yes.
And so how you choose
Mhm.
to be connected to community is really important.
Very, very important. Very, very important.
Yeah. The two initiatives that you're involved with, or the three that you're involved with
Yeah.
right now, is there anything that you want to share that's happening in that with Femme Alliance, with
Yeah.
Calgary Black Chamber?
Oh yeah. So with Femme Alliance, there's an event coming up in March.
Mhm.
It's gonna be for part of the International Women's Day.
Oh yeah.
You know, March is the Women's Month, so there's gonna be lots of program. But Femme Alliance is bringing women together, to talk about issues, talk about progress, talk about stuff. So that's happening in March, which is being worked at the moment. This month was February. This is Black History Month.
Yes.
So the Calgary Black Chambers is involved in a couple of things as well. On February 13th, there is the Black History Month dinner, which brings people in business, the whole community together at the Heritage Park in Calgary.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful evening of connection. We also it's also a fundraising for scholarship. Up till date, is not, the chamber has been on since 2020, raised over $400,000 in providing scholarship for our youth. So it's really beautiful. So that's happening. The Leukemia Lymphoma Society. Basically, every October we have Light the Ninth.
Oh.
Yeah, where we support those that are affected by cancer, either those who are survived or people who've passed away. We all come together in one beautiful night to remember. So that is something that is coming up as well. So really, really looking forward to all of these things coming up. And I'm just going to tell anybody listening, I know they organize some organizations I support. Look around you. There's something that you should support. Get involved. Sometimes people send me stuff and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give $5. I'm going to give $10. Right? It goes a long way in making a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Right. So I always tell everybody, just get involved. Find the way you can. For some of us, it's going to be able to volunteer and use our energy or maybe our fine faces to do difference. But some people, it's their money or something, just get involved somehow. That's what I always say.
Doesn't have to be financial support.
Yeah.
And there is the opportunity to either attend, participate, volunteer.
Yeah.
I will be at an International Women's Day. I'm part of the Connected Business Women Network, CBWN.
Nice.
And so we have our event coming up on the 4th of March. So that'll be exciting. I'll take a look in
make sure you
some of the
invite
others.
me, hey?
I will definitely invite you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Allies, 100% welcome. And I want to see and hear about some more of those events that are happening throughout February for Black History Month, because that is so exceptionally important to our own culture and knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And even if you check places or sites like the Calgary Foundation, they have a list of events going on. The Chamber page, we're going to post a lot going on socials. We're just reposting because there's so many things going on, different cities doing different stuff. But it's also a great opportunity to just go learn something new, something you didn't know. And it's a time for community. So all of these times are all times for community.
Love that. Time for community. And I think it's also really great to remind people that by getting involved, it's not just about giving back. One of the things that I always found was really interesting being able to learn different skills.
Yes.
And be able to sharpen something that you didn't think you had the opportunity to do so.
True.
So a few years ago here in Okotoks, I don't remember, it was the Alberta Summer Games.
Yeah.
And so I got the opportunity to sit on as a director of culture, which, yes, I'm a culture enthusiast, but it was not what it's not my mainstay. I'm a banker. I'm a banker and a business owner. And so giving that opportunity to give back by also learning something new.
Yeah. There's always an opportunity to learn something new, something you didn't know. All right.
Love it. So community is very important. And then financial literacy is very important for you.
It is.
Absolutely. And so you're really shifting gears from moving from BDC to RBCx.
Yeah.
So I have so many questions that are coming up here, but what's really important about that for you, that transition for you?
It was a beautiful, like for me, it was a beautiful transition. I started, I started at ATV. That's where I started in
Mhm.
banking. But it was a great place to start, and then
Mm.
it was really a great place to start. Really taught me about community. Really taught me that by banking, through banking, you can really change the lives of
Oh,
people. And I will never forget that, and I got to learn that and, supporting entrepreneurs, thinking about my background too, where my dad was an entrepreneur, my mom was an entrepreneur, and understand the challenges that they faced,
mhm.
right? Like there was, they had so many challenges, and this is me being that child looking at it and getting the opportunity to now work in the bank. I was like, oh my god, it wasn't just my mom, it wasn't just my dad. There were so many people who had the same challenges. So if I can make a difference for those people, if I can just help by saying, hey, this is the way it is done. Hey, you need help.
Mhm.
And not just look at people as numbers, but be able to, make meaningful changes in their lives just based on the knowledge you have. I thought that was really, really beautiful. I enjoy doing it. So I've been doing that, and this is an opportunity. Moving to RBCx is another opportunity to support the tech economy. The tech economy is beautiful. It has been growing in the last couple of years. I think our startup ecosystem went from $3 billion to $8 billion. So there's a lot going on in the ecosystem, and I thought, well, this is a great learning opportunity for me to be part of that ecosystem, but also to make a difference in that ecosystem. There are lots of beautiful founders doing great stuff, things that are going to change, we're all going to need in the future. So I just want to use all that knowledge, to make a difference in tech. So for me, that was the main reason for the move, apart from learning for my own career development, but also deploy those skills that I already have, to help those people in tech as well. So,
I love that. It's interesting that you grew up with parents that were entrepreneurs.
yeah.
Both of mine were government employees, and then I went in supporting business owners in a number of different areas.
Yeah.
And now being an entrepreneur myself, it was not innately part of my DNA. So I had
Oh,
to
dear.
learn that side.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but one thing I do agree with you
Mm.
is that we have the powers to change people's lives.
Yes.
Mine now is a business educator,
Mm.
coach, consultant, yours still in the banking
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
And be able to not only change people's lives, but change society.
Yes.
And so when I was doing a little bit of research on what RBCx is doing, you guys are
Yeah.
doing some pretty cool stuff
Lo-
with seed capital, with
Yeah.
venture capital, even for
Yeah.
startups.
Yeah, no, it's so we support all the life cycle of the of tech companies. So from early stage to late stage companies, we're able to provide them with accounts. We're able to provide them with connections. We're able to provide them with advice.
Hmm.
We have a venture capital side of things where we, in that part, we invest, in funds to funds. We're able to provide our late stage customers with venture debts to help them meet, like more, meets milestones,
Hmm.
and there's all the shred stuff. We're able to help them with that. So there's a lot of stuff we can do at RBCx. But the main focus is helping those, tech founders, go forward, helping them make their businesses international, helping them grow that idea into something magical. All right, so that's the idea of RBCx, and it's a really, really beautiful venture.
Yeah. For myself, I found it really interesting
Mm.
because I don't consider SaaS necessarily as tech. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys are also funding SaaS and supporting SaaS ownership
Yes.
as
Yes.
well, which is fascinating. Yeah.
It is a beautiful, just like, I moved in a couple of months, and it's been a great time to learn as well. You're learning about all those like monthly recurring revenues,
Mhm.
annual recurring revenues for SaaS companies, and being able to support them through their growth. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful seeing things in life sciences, in clean tech, in
Right.
fintech. Like it's so. Every day I'm like, oh my god, there's too many smart people in this world. changing everything. So being given and having that opportunity to support them, to make those changes, that's phenomenal.
That's incredible. You've seen business from a couple of different vantage points, traditional banking, BDC, now from the fintech standpoint. If you were to give a founder a couple of recommendations or tips, what would your top 3 be?
Oh dear. Now let me get you going on that one. Okay. The first thing I would say, for every founder, do not neglect community.
Okay.
Do not neglect community. Make sure you take advantage of community. Make sure you take advantage of, other people who are in the ecosystem, who are entrepreneurs, who are startups. Because sometimes I think many people, want to do things on their own and they get tied into that hole, right? There are many mistakes you're going to make that I don't want you to make them because somebody else has made them. And we're in an ecosystem where people are there to help you. People are there to provide you advice. So be part of the ecosystem, attend events, go to things, because you're going to just meet somebody there who's just gone a little bit ahead, past, like what the things you're struggling with, and they will help you. So that's one thing I'm going to say.
I'm going to jump in on this here.
Okay.
Because I think it's really important that it's community is networking, community is incubators, community. I mean, if I think about Calgary, Platform Calgary is a great example of being able to get together. CBWN, you do a number of networking. Fem Alliance is another one that does like so many great opportunities to be able to connect and then be able to look at, are there different ecosystems, as you put it. I have had networks myself over the years, online networks, starting another one up again in a couple of months. Stay tuned for information on the next right step. But there's so many ways that we can give back to community. So community's number one. What's
community
number 2?
Number 1. Number 2, be ready to learn and unlearn.
Ooh, say more.
Yeah, be able to learn and unlearn. So I mean learn. So sometimes you have an idea of, hey, this is the way it's going to be. This is the way what I want to change. But however, I found many people fail because of they hold on to the idea of what it is and not taking advice and looking at things from different perspectives to make it better. So in those times, like those things just, especially if you're looking for investments from investors or they always want to look at somebody who's coachable, somebody who's able to listen, especially in the investment side. They're looking more on the person. I'm going to put so much money in you. You're like, are you investable? Like, is this person going to be the person who corrects, land? So being able to learn and unlearn in this whole entrepreneurship journey, I think it's something that it will really, really help you. But, don't like, I know it all. You might, you might know this stuff. You might know the science. You might know all of that. However, do you know the money part? Be able to, get like somebody who's going to help you with, hey, this is the way money works. This is how to do it. But you need to be able to have that ability to want to learn and unlearn.
There is an element of being humble with that, because I'm hearing you say you might be the technical expert, but you don't know everything about everything.
You don't, yes.
And so being able to learn a different element of your business or unlearn. And I think that's also extending to embracing mistakes.
Yes.
Right? Embracing the mistakes of what worked or what didn't work, and how can I learn from that?
Yes. Yeah. Because you're gonna find that all the time. Sometimes you see people do financial projections. People say, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And being able to like, I'm very, very sure about it. The person sitting on the other side has seen 40 of it, 100 of it. And we're like, well, I don't know that. I'm not sure that's the way that works. And you're like, no, I'm very, very sure. Like, and sometimes, like, I believe that you should be proud in yourself. You should be confident, but you should also be humble enough to learn. Be humble enough to, like, I'm going to give it a try. Let's see if it works. Failure is not the end. right? Because there's something to always learn from that, just like you said. So yeah, so I think that it's very, very important that you're humble enough to learn, and you know what's going to happen in this entrepreneurship journey, because the person who might teach you might just be somebody that you don't think you're going to learn from.
Oh, right. Some of the best teachers I have had came from the most unexpected places.
Yes. Yes.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
Be open to receiving the information.
Yes.
And that comes back to what you were talking about being coachable.
Be coachable.
And there are times that our egos get involved and we're like, I know better than that. And that's usually when we get knocked down a notch.
I know.
Or two. Or several.
Like it's a very interesting job. And I know there are so many tips you want to give on an entrepreneur. Yeah. And the last tip I'm just going to say is that be prepared. Be prepared. I always say that, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So be prepared. Be very prepared. The entrepreneurship journey, and you've seen this over and over, where people are like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire in 1 year. It doesn't work. Oh, I'm going to do this in 1 year. In 6 years, you're still trying to get it off the ground, right? Make the plan. Just, whether you have a family or not, thinking about quitting your job or doing stuff and all that, make sure you have a plan. Or you're going to use all of the money you have, all the savings, make sure you have a plan. Because one of the problems we find with many entrepreneurs is not being able to have that plan to say, hey, this is what it might cost me. And what is my plan A? What is my plan B? What is my plan C? If this happens, am I going to go get a job? Or am I going to be waiting? Because I see it happen all the time. So it all ties back to the other one, whereby you have to be, you need to learn to be humble. You need to be coachable as well. So that's what that's what, 3 things I would say, do that plan. And to be honest, sometimes it's a projection. A projection might not be real. It might not work, but be able to say, hey, this is not the way this is working. I might need to do stuff. Let me give you, for example, somebody setting up a coffee shop, right? And we're like, oh, we're going to be up and running in 3 months. And guess what? There are like delays, there are this. Meanwhile, you've signed the lease, you're paying for the loans on it. Oh my God, then you realize that, oh my God, even getting permits from the city takes a lot of time. So before you know what's happening, you're supposed to start in March. And before you know what's happening, you're opening in September, right? So it's all about those little things. I always tell, like, you need to plan, have that contingency plan, because you just don't know what's going to happen. While I wish everybody the best, but I always say have that contingency plan.
Well, you and I've seen both sides of that, where people have the plan and people don't have the plan. And I am a huge believer in looking at the plan. Also being aware of who's created those projections.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you had come across your desk something where a founder has gotten support through it and they don't understand what the actual
numbers are? You don't even understand the business plan.
So it's really, I am on a mission to educate founders and business owners on understanding the different elements of being in business.
Yes.
And so looking at that business plan, making sure that you understand it, making sure that it is something that is tangible, but also understanding the different types of financing. So when you look at that planning component, also looking at, is it lending that I need? Is it self-sourcing? Do I need angel investors? Do I need to go into partnership with somebody? And also, if I am going into partnership with somebody, that it's somebody who that person is, and that we can truly live in that partnership, because it is a marriage.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. You need to do that, and you've seen this. You see, just at that part I was talking about, like, people present business plans, like, okay, what are the assumptions? What are the tell me more about the sale. And is this, think about it. Is it realistic?
Yes.
So having those little understanding lets and those things go into your business plan, and having someone who's working with you to ensure that you understand it, because you own it. If you're going to go get a loan, guess whose guarantees is there? It's going to be you.
Right.
It is you. It's always going to be about you. If something happens, if there's a failure, it is about you because the person who wrote the plan is written 10 orders for other people,
Right.
right? So you need to be able to own it. You're able to know it. So it's all about that planning. Make sure you plan.
It's the conviction behind it. The
Yeah.
conviction behind knowing what you're doing, why you're doing.
Yes.
And I love that, taking agency and ownership of that.
Yeah.
But also I want to link it back to the comment of community.
Yeah.
Because it is being able to tap in when something hey, have you been down this road before?
Yeah.
Have you walked the walk? What do I need to know? Or even just to have that trusted partners to be able to say, hey, I just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are trying something new here today.
Okay.
And we are calling it Questions from the Audience segment.
Hey.
Now I'm going to bring in my handy dandy piece of technology here.
Okay.
So we're both going to answer these.
Okay.
The first one is, I feel overwhelmed and pulled into a million different directions in my business. Where do I even start? I'm doing all the things in my business and I'm feeling stuck. So we've got a founder who's overwhelmed. What do we need to do to help them out?
That's I have had that. I have had that a lot from many founders because that when you start your business, you are everything, right? You're the accountants, you're the procurements, you're like the sales, you're
washing the floors,
you're washing the floors, you're doing all of that
Yeah.
hustle, so it's really, really true. And you could be pushed, you could be pulled into in different places. A couple of things I want to advise, in certain places, are there ways you can adopt technology, right? Are there ways you can adopt technology? So certain things that you don't necessarily like, for example, driving for like 30 minutes to go get a check or things like that. Are there things you can basically, people are able to pay you a little bit easy? That could take some stress away from you. So adopting technology is fine, but also, this will sound a little bit cliche, but sometimes, get the right business coach who's helping you. Like, hey, at this point, I think this person should be doing that. That person should be doing that. Because sometimes when you think about your time, right, you're putting so much time doing this stuff. Maybe you could have used that time in making the business more productive. So, when you think about how much I have to pay someone else to do it and how much, I am losing for me doing that, you want to think about both of them and balance them. And that is where I think, I would say that taking advantage of community, still time back to community, because you're not alone. You're not alone. Think about what you're doing. You're not alone. There are lots of people who have gone through this same thing. And they're going to say, here, this is the way I did it. And this does not say that the hustle is not real. The hustle is real.
The hustle is real, right?
Yes.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is
and
real.
So I love the concept surrounding adopting technology.
Yeah.
And so how can we make things simpler and easier? Are there automations that can be put into place?
Yes.
I also love the call out to getting a business advisor, talking to your business bank, talk to your business consultant, talk to your business coach. Because a lot of times that investment into an investment coach or consultant will actually save you money in the long run. And a lot of founders don't think about that in the offset. They see that that initial investment as an expense. And it's really not. It's an investment into themselves and into the business.
That's very, very true.
I would say for an overwhelmed founder that isn't sure where to start, I would go back to what the plan was and ask, do you have true clarity in what your purpose was and where are you getting pulled off? So if it's I don't have enough clarity, then let's go back to the drawing board and create additional clarity in terms of what the vision, the mission, the values, the purpose, and what your key drivers are that you want to bring to the world.
Yes.
And then if you haven't got that strategic plan put together, now's a great time to start. What is it? There's always two perfect times to start. One was 10 years ago and the other day is today. So it would be start now. And refocus and embrace the learning.
And that's just to add because, always we say the business plan is a lifelong document. It's not a document for 10 years ago, it's a document for today.
Yeah.
So what has changed? What has changed, from what I planned and what's happening,
Right.
and being able to take that break, make that change and go forward. And also ensuring that you have the right team. You have the right bankers supporting you.
Mhm.
You have the right accountant supporting you. You make sure that team is around to give you that support because you need that support.
Yes.
You cannot do it all alone. And something, I was in an event last week and we're talking about the prairie's power. The prairie's powers is all about I did it on my own. It's a joyful thing. It's a boastful thing. Like I can do it on my own.
Feels like a badge of honor
A
that
badge
we
of
don't
honor.
need.
Yeah, I don't need the help. Right? But no, you do. Take the help that you need.
Right? How much easier is it when you work together as opposed to working?
So do it alone. Right? I would see last just to add to that point is that I would see like for the same entrepreneur in the prairies, or maybe compared to that entrepreneur in Ontario or the Quebec, and they have that loan of stuff, and they're like, those guys are just like, I'll just go get it. And they want to press, well, let me just take my time. Let me go through the hustle to grow it. By the time you do, that person has grown 5-6 times more,
right?
Before you. So take the help, seek for help. And take the help.
Yeah, I really just think about all of the resources that are out there. I think of Paro Canada, AWE.
Yes.
Platform comes to economic development.
Yeah.
Like there's so many resources out there to be able to seek.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation.
True.
Right?
100%.
It may not be the right avenue, but that conversation with one of those individuals can open up and they can go, well, it doesn't quite fit here, but here, go talk to this person.
Yeah.
And so stop it with the badge of honor.
And go get help.
Go get help. And then the other question we've got here is, this is an interesting one. I want to leave my corporate job, but I am scared. I am worried about the money stability and falling. What advice would you give to someone in that spot?
Don't leave.
I disagree. I disagree.
What I would say is a couple, and and this question is like a lifelong question, and to be honest, there's no real answer to it because you would see people who stayed in their corporate jobs, started a business, and grew. There's a lot of people who just like, I'm done with this, and jumped into their business and grew. Now, in those both sets of people, there are people who went the other way around as well, right? So when I think about those situations, I always say, there's certain times you're going to be forced to make that change, right? For example, you're laid off or something happens. Like you don't have that opportunity to make that change. And it's like, well, this is where I am. And you don't have it's like my mom would say, if you're on the floor, then you don't need to be scared again because you're already on the floor, right? So, so it's all about, I'm going to just move from there. However, if you have the opportunity to have a great job and all that, I would say plan. Think about what do I want to do? What are the faces I want to pull? I've had friends who, had their corporate job, they started stuff. At some point, it was like, hey, my corporate, it's time for me to leave and go give my full time to this because, it covers this, it pays that, it does that. And me being involved in it, it's gonna, be better, right? So I would always say, think about it very well. Sometimes too, I understand sometimes people like I just can't do this anymore, right? I can't, maybe in my job that I'm having, I'm not just finding the joy. I'm not finding the happiness. I'm feeling more frustrated. I'm feeling very, very unhappy. That's a different situation as well. So everyone has a different situation, but all I'm just going to say, think it through. Just don't carry it on your mind. Talk to someone. Talk to somebody who can help you. Talk to, just like you said, whether it's, like even talk to, they can
talk to somebody who's done it.
Yeah, talk to somebody who's done it and let them tell you, the issues they had and ask them if you were you, if they were going to go back again, what would they do differently?
Yeah.
Or would they do it again? So you're going to have different perspectives and you learn. Yeah.
I'm gonna answer this from the lens of somebody who did that, who left the cushy corporate job to go start a business,
Yeah.
and looking at it a couple of years after doing it, I would do it again.
Cool.
But I would say to that person who's on the fence
Yeah.
to ask them whether or not they are ready to be the visionary,
Yes.
whether they have discipline and determination, whether they have focus.
Yeah.
Because there is a completely different set of skills
Yeah.
that you bring into working as a consultant, working as a commission-based individual, working as a entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And so are you quite prepared to step into that arena that you are actually working longer hours in the beginning than you ever were as an employee? 18 hours. And so is it worth it? So if you are going to do it, do something that you are absolutely passionate about because you're going to put all your time and effort in. And is it something that you are not going to hate?
Yeah.
Because you've decided, I'm going to use this. I love photography. Photography is one of my pastimes. I would not start a photography business for the only reason is I think I would grow to hate it.
Yeah.
Whereas being a business advisor, it's what I was doing for years and I get the opportunity to continue to do it and it lights me up. And so if it lights you up, jump in.
Yeah.
Get support, find community, ask the questions, and make sure you understand the different sources of funding. Funding and financing.
Yeah.
And take the leap.
And when I think about the things that both of us have said, it's all about taking community. Don't do it all alone. Lots of people have done this. They're out there in the community. They will help you. Just don't talk to only the people who love you because they don't want to make your feelings feel bad. They tell you, yes, you go ahead. You got this girl. You got this boy. No, talk to many other people.
I think it's about making a informed decision.
Yes.
And that means surrounding yourself with those people who love you and will cheer you on, but also talking to somebody who's going to give you real talk.
100%.
Like what we do here.
That's why you're doing it.
Dennis, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'm going to put an open invitation to come on back.
You want to do that?
I totally want to do that. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I love it. It has been such a pleasure. I can't wait to hear and see some of all the great things that you're doing at RBCx. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And continue to lead with heart.
I appreciate you. And thanks for having me. And thanks for all the great work you do. I appreciate you. And lead with hearts too. I know you.
I know you too.